Hello, I am Subrata Seria from Medical College Kolkata, and today's topic of discussion is renal system. Okay, previously I talked the autonomic nervous system, and today's topic is renal, and I will cover three questions in together. Like the question number one is furosemide is combined with spironolactone as diuretics. Why furosemide is used in left ventricular failure, and the short note furosemide. Okay, please download the PDF which is sent in your WhatsApp group and follow the PDF. So before starting the furosemide, I want to tell something about the thick ascending limb of the Henle loop. Okay. So there is our. Please draw the diagram because the diagram is not provided in your PDF. So there is a thick ascending limb of the Henle loop. We all know there is a pump present in there, and the pump transport one sodium ion, one potassium ion, and two chlorine ion. And in that side there is another pump which is called sodium potassium ATPase pump. We all know that, which transport sodium in the outside or in the blood vessels and potassium inside. So please notice which ion present in the blood vessels and which ion present in the urine. It will help you a lot. Okay, please notice this. So the sodium goes into the blood vessels, the chlorine goes into the blood vessels. There is another channel present there, and the potassium goes again inside the lumen of Henle loop, and the positive charge is accumulated in the lumen. So there are some positive ions like magnesium, like calcium, which are get repelled, and they also go into the blood vessels by passively. Okay, and in the urine, the potassium will excrete for this mechanism. Okay, so this channel is called NKCC channel. We know that, and before the going to the furosemide, I want to discuss another thing special. So please notice the sodium, chlorine, magnesium, and calcium are present in the blood vessels. Okay, I will remove this. We know that is our afferent arteriole. The smooth muscle around the afferent arteriole. If the afferent arteriole constrict, then the GFR will decrease and our urine production is decreased. Okay. So in this pump, the ATP gets converted into ADP. ADP then gets converted into AMP, and AMP gets converted into adenosine. Okay, adenosine. And in the Lassie cell, there is a receptor for adenosine, AT1 receptor. The adenosine gets bind here. Adenosine gets bind here with the AT1 receptor, and from the Lassie cell, calcium gets out and come to the smooth muscles around the afferent artery. and then the smooth muscle get constrict and the GFR will decreased. Okay, and if the GFR is decreased, then the urine production will decrease. Adenosine have a negative feedback on renin also. So this is our L of Henry. Now coming to the furosemide. So before that, what furosemide does? Furosemide act from the luminal side, okay, and it's block the NKCC channel. So what will be changed in the urine? What's the effect on the in the urine, and what is the effect in the blood? So in the urine and in the blood, what ions present in the blood in the normal time? Sodium, chlorine, magnesium and calcium. They all are not present in case of blood. There is the less in amount, and sodium, chlorine, magnesium and calcium in high in case of urine. Okay, first of all, and also there is a potassium in high in case of urine, and potassium is less. With the potassium, H plus is less and H plus is high. Okay, and again some other like glucose, the uric acid, the glucose, the uric acid and the lipid get decreased in case of urine and increase in case of blood. Okay, so furosemide does these effects on the TAL or in the Henry lobe. Okay, please copy this. So in the adenosine part, if the NKCC pump is not working, the adenosine gets decreased. Okay, I think you know that. I think you remember the ATP gets ADP, gets AMP, gets adenosine, binds with adenosine receptor 1, which gives calcium from the Lassie cell, and the calcium decrease the GFR by constriction of the smooth muscle around the afferent arteriole, and these adenosine have a negative feedback on renin. Okay, so if there is no NKCC pump is working, as the NKCC pump is blocked, so this is not occurred. So GFR will not decrease, the GFR is increased, and the constriction is not occurred, so the urine output get increased. So coming to the uses of the furosemide, like it can be used in edema, any cause of edema, like renal edema, like hepatical edema, like acute pulmonary edema. They drains all edematous fluid through the urine by increase the GFR, and that will help in our edema. In hypertension, in case of it is a second line drug, but it can be used in the hypertension. It can use in the hypercalcemia of malignancy. It can use in the hyperkalemia. So we can use in edematous conditions, in hypertension, in imbalance of some electrolytes. Okay, and it is a second. It's not a first line drug of hypertension, but it can be used. Now coming to the side effects of the furosemide. Because before going to the side effects, you all know the side effects, because you know in the blood vessels the magnesium, the calcium, the potassium is decreased, the sodium is decreased. So the side effects are like hypokalemia, like the hypocalcemia, hypomagnesemia. Okay, if the sodium is decreased, then the water is also decreased because the GFR is increased, urine outflow is high, so there is the volume depletion. Okay, and we know the glucose, the uric acid, and the lipid is increased in blood. So the blood sugar will be high, uric acid will be high, and there is a hyperlipidemia. Okay, and hair loss is a side effect, but it's rare. Okay. Now coming to the contraindication of furosemide. The contraindication of furosemide. The contraindication is kidney stone. Why? Because the furosemide blocks the NKCC channel, so the calcium is cannot be go to the blood, they accumulate into the kidney, so it is contraindicated in case of renal stone or kidney stone. Okay, now come to the second thing, which is spironolactone. Okay, and before the going to spironolactone, I want to discuss about the collecting duct. Okay, please draw the diagram. That's the collecting duct of our nephron. There is a molecule which is called aldosterone, and there is a intercellular receptor of aldosterone. When the aldosterone gets bind to the intercellular receptor of the aldosterone, some genes will be activated, and the gene gives some proteins, and the proteins get converted into the channel and come in the play. Okay, so first this part is get activated and come in here, and there is a channel formation was done, and this channel is epithelial sodium channel. Okay, sorry. By this sodium gets in. So it doesn't have to present in the blood. So this part of gene activated and from another channel which is called sodium potassium ATPase form. Through this sodium come in our blood and potassium goes in. We have to excrete potassium. So this gene will activate it and from another channel which is called potassium channel, and the potassium come in the urine. Now, spironolactone binds with the same receptor. That is the spironolactone, and the affinity of the spironolactone towards the aldosterone receptor is more than the aldosterone. So aldosterone is get detached, and the whole process will not occur. So there is no sodium input and no potassium excrete. So in case of blood, the sodium gets decreased and the potassium amount get increased, and in the urine the potassium concentration get decreased and sodium amount is get increased. Okay, so now coming to the question, why furosemide is used with spironolactone? Because this is the spironolactone. Because the spironolactone increase the potassium in the blood and the furosemide decrease the potassium in the blood, so that's maintained. Okay, but spironolactone have a side effects like gynecomastia occurs in case of the male, the spironolactone. Now coming to the Another question. The question is, why furosemide used in case of left ventricular failure? So why it's used? Because, please write down the chart. Okay. Why IV furosemide is used in case of left ventricular failure? Please write down the chart. The furosemide, IV furosemide. First of all, it decreases renin. It decreases adenosine. We know that. Previously we talked, okay? And it increases the synthesis of the prostaglandins. Synthesis and relaxation, release of prostaglandins. And these three this helps in the vasodilation, and these three helps in the increase of renal blood flow. If the renal blood flow is increased, the GFR will increase. If the GFR is increased, okay, then the urine outflow is increased. Okay. If the urine outflow is increased, then pulmonary to the systemic blood will shift. Okay. Because there is the venodilation, and if the venodilation was done, the preload will decrease. So the preload is decreased. If the preload is decreased, then the shifting of the blood from the pulmonary to the systemic was done, and that helps in left ventricular filling will decrease. If the left ventricular filling is decreased, it will help in our left ventricular failure filling. So furosemide helps in synthesis of prostaglandin, decrease the amount of renin and adenosine, the vasodilation will occur, the renal blood flow is increased, GFR increase and urine increase. If the venodilation is occurs, then the shifting of the blood from the pulmonary to the systemic was done, and if the systemic pulmonary blood is shifted, so the left ventricular filling was decreased, and it's helped in case of left ventricular failure. Okay. I want to discuss another small topic, why spironolactone is used in case of cirrhosis of liver. Okay. So in case of cirrhosis of liver, the liver parenchyma get damaged. So the aldosterone metabolism not occur, because the enzyme or the metabolism of aldosterone is not secreted from the damaged parenchyma of the liver, and the aldosterone gets increased. So hyperaldosteronemia was done, and it's called retention of sodium and water in the renal tubules. But the spironolactone is used, they block the action of the aldosterone and increase the GFR, or increase in the diuresis. The hepatic edema was drained out, the ascites of the liver was not done, and it also helps in the side effects of the aldosterone, high aldosterone. Okay. So I will discuss 4 questions in this topic, like furosemide short note. Furosemide helps in the left ventricular failure. The spironolactone and furosemide along with use the spironolactone used in case of cirrhosis of the liver. Now last one question is remaining, and the question is thiazide. Why thiazide is used for the diabetes insipidus? Okay. Now coming to the thiazide. Why thiazide used in case of diabetes insipidus? Thiazide used in 25 to 50 milligram TDS or equivalent dose for the diabetes insipidus. And for the diabetes, what is diabetes insipidus? Diabetes insipidus has 100 to 200 liter urine speed per day. Okay, and diabetes has two classifications. One is central, one is nephrogenic. And central is caused for the ADH. So for the nephrogenic, we can use thiazide for the treatment. Why and how? Thiazide. How thiazide helps us? Okay. Thiazide helps to sodium, potassium, H plus, magnesium increase in urine. Okay, if these ions are increased in case of urine, urine get concentrated and effects on the cortical dilation, and there is a decrease in the plasma osmolarity, and if the plasma osmolarity is decreased, then there is a decrease in thirst, and if the thirst is decreased, the water intake gets decreased, and if the water intake is decreased, then the urine outflow gets decreased. So thus urine formation was decreased in case of diabetes insipidus by using the thiazide. So what questions are remaining? Like the question is thiazide used in antihypertensive agent, and I have nothing to discuss here because I already discussed. So it is in your PDF. Please go through the PDF. And one question is ACE inhibitors has induced the cough. I will discuss this topic in the CVS, but I will provide the answer in your PDF. Please go through the PDF, and if any doubts, please fill up the form which I provide in your groups. Okay, the next topic will be on respiratory system. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video.